and today we're going to talk about how to beat the heat when you're at a Disney park. And we have been to Disney World several times in August. So we have been there in some of the hottest weather, and they are not joking when people talk about the heat in August in Florida. There is a reason that it is actually becoming one of the emptier times. I don't think the summer crowds are as bad as they used to be because people are realizing it's just kind of miserable in the heat. And if they can go other times of year, they do. But I mean, my family, now we've got a teenager. So going in the summer is one of the times when we can go where we don't have school. We're not missing school. So we are still going to be going in the summer. So you've got to make it as enjoyable as possible. And there are ways to do that. Now, my philosophy on how to pack for the park in the heat is going to be different than someone that has toddlers. Because if you have toddlers, you have a stroller. And if you have a stroller, you can store all this stuff in the stroller and it makes a huge difference. But what we found is when we stopped bringing a stroller to Disney, then we found we had to carry it on our backs. If we were both carrying heavy backpacks, our backs got all hot and sweaty. So we changed philosophies. And now when we go in the summer, we are trying to pack as little as possible. That is our whole philosophy for beating the heat, is pack as little as possible and be as lightweight as possible so you're not carrying around heavy stuff and getting all sweaty, and it just makes it so much harder. But so you're kind of doing a trade-off. So for example, we used to bring we brought these neck fans one time, and they are awesome. But if you have one for everyone in the family and you put them all in your backpack, that is going to be a lot of weight in your backpack, and you need to bring this big backpack. Now, of course, you could just bring one and pass it around. And another fan that we've brought is this one. Now, this one's great. You can fill it up with water and it'll mist you, and it's not too big. And I do like that it can stand up. Okay, so if we're bringing a backpack, we could bring one of these and I'm okay with that. But in general, I try to fit as much as possible either in a fanny pack, or we bring one backpack, a small backpack, and we pass it and take turns between all four of us. So we only have one backpack, we're passing it around between all four of us, so you're not one person is carrying it around all day. Or I can honestly fit most of what we need into a fanny pack a lot of times. So in order to fit in the fanny pack, instead of using this big fan, not huge, but a little big, I actually get like the smallest fan possible, and this will fit no problem into the fanny pack. So I can at least have a fan with us. The other thing is chargers, going as small as possible. So these ones, I have fuel rods as well, but I like these the best because they stick onto your phone. You can just plug them in right at the bottom of your phone, and then they don't need any cords. They're real small. So I love to bring just one of these in my fanny pack as well. The other things that you'll hear people talk about are cooling things like cooling towels. So we have brought these before, but we never really ended up using them. We always feel so sweaty. I'm sure having some cold water on this would feel good, but we just never end up feeling like we use them. I bring them in and we don't end up using them. Also, in the summer, you need to be prepared for rain. Usually there's some afternoon showers in August especially, and so you need to be prepared. Now, if you have a backpack, you could bring an umbrella, and that is kind of nice because not only could it help if it rained, but if it's really hot and you're stuck without shade, you can use that to block the sun. So I do have some umbrellas in our owner's locker that I keep there. And if we're bringing like a backpack, I might pack one or two umbrellas in there. But again, it just adds to weight. So a lot of times I do go the poncho route. And I go with these disposable ponchos, and I can fit several in my fanny pack. Now, of course, we're just going to throw them out at the end. And if it is hot, you're kind of stuck under that plastic. but usually it's just for a little bit of time and then we throw them out. The rain doesn't last forever. And so I love the ponchos because I can even bring them in my fanny pack. They take up such little room. So we have really gone with that approach. I mean, I would love to have like a real nice rain jacket with me, but again, we're just always focusing on minimizing space and weight in our bags when it's really hot out. So that's why we tend to go with the disposable ponchos. Now, another thing that you still want to pack in the summer is, and really all year, but I find that I burn so easily in Disney and I get really overheated. So I do always make sure I have sunscreen with me. Now, this sunscreen is great for me because it's a sunscreen, a powder sunscreen you can put on even if you're wearing makeup. You just put it on over your face. It doesn't feel greasy because it's just powder. I love this stuff. But a lot of times, just to save space, I'll just bring one sunscreen, just like a small liquid face sunscreen especially, and I'll have that in the bag so everybody can reapply sunscreen throughout the day. Although I will say, if we're going to the parks, we are not staying in the parks all day if it's summer. So we're not having to reapply sunscreen that much. Actually, the boys don't really need to because we don't stay very long in the morning. We spend a lot of time in the parks in the evening when it's the summer. And I'm the only one that really needs to apply sunscreen in the morning because I need it like every hour. But everybody else is usually good. So what do? We usually find that you want to get to the parks as early as possible. Rope dropping is even more important in the summer because you want to get there early in the day. And then honestly, by 11 o'clock, our kids, we're like overheating. I had this plan. Okay, we're going to make lunch reservations and then we'll be in the air conditioning, right? So I thought that was a great idea. The only problem was our younger son did not last. He was like melting down at that point. So what we found was we actually could only make it to about like 11 o'clock or so, and they were starting to want to go back to the hotel. So it might be an even earlier break time than you expect in the summer. In January, we could last till 1 or 2, but when it's that hot out, you really want to make sure that you break early enough that your kids are not melting down. So that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. You could do the air conditioning lunch or just head back to the hotel and get a break in. Now, if you're doing a break, you can go back to the pool, but honestly, you probably want to get inside a little bit, take a break in the air conditioning, change clothes, and then head back at night. We love the parks at night, and it's so much better. Usually there's maybe even been a rainstorm, and we've missed that because we stay and have a pretty long break when we're in the summer. So we'll have a nice long break. There's a rainstorm usually. We go back out at night. Now it's cooled down, and we enjoy until park close. So another thing that really helps with the heat is if you dress appropriately. And one of the other things is wearing a hat. So in the summer, I don't wear Mickey ears as much. I will wear a hat, and same with the kids. Actually, our whole family has these white hats. They're by Nike, and what I love about them is they're white, so they reflect the sun. They're very lightweight and breathable. So I'm not picking a hat that's really thick, and this actually just keeping the sun off of your face, I find that this keeps me just feeling way cooler. Honestly, by having the hats, we find that we don't even need sunglasses as much because we have the brim of the hat. It's keeping us cool. And then the other part of clothes is, of course, wearing breathable materials. I've worn some athletic dresses, skirts that have built-in shorts, have built-in bras, so you're not wearing as many layers. I just don't like having a sweaty bra underneath a t-shirt, no jeans, comfortable clothes is key when you're going to Disney in the summer. So another thing you want to make sure is that you stay hydrated when you are in Disney, and especially in the summer when it's super hot. Now, I know a lot of people will bring their own water bottles, and I think especially if you have a stroller, that's great, but we are usually trying to pack as light as possible. So we do splurge on our Disney trips, and we buy waters and Powerades in the park. We'll drink them right away and finish them pretty quickly, and then we'll make sure we buy another one pretty soon. So we're always buying those throughout the day, and it's just an expense that we expect when we're at Disney in the summer. And I do like if we have a backpack, hopefully there's a pocket. Like for this one, there is a pocket on both sides where we could, if we don't finish the Powerade, we can stick it in there. But I don't like having to carry around a water bottle all day. Usually when you exit some of the rides, like you get out of Test Track, for example, there's going to be a merchandise shop at the end, and you can get your Powerade or your water. It's a little harder to find the Powerades. They're not sold at every location. I do like that the Powerade's the best sometimes because they do rehydrate you. So sometimes it's just nice to have a liquid IV or two with you, the little powder individual ones, because then even if you can only find water, you can mix that up and still get those electrolytes, and that will hydrate you even faster. But that's just our philosophy on hydrating in the park. We do it a lot. We're buying them constantly throughout the day, and we just splurge on that when we're on our trip. So those are some of the things our family does to stay hydrated and cool when we're in the parks, especially when it's really hot out like in the summer. If you have any tips, I'd love to hear them below, and stay tuned for more Disney videos. Thanks!